notice how the loudest people in the room often have the least results to show for it? We live in a world addicted to drama, social media meltdowns, outrage culture, emotional outbursts. But here's the truth. That noise won't build your dream life. You know what will? Discipline. It doesn't scream. It doesn't crave attention, but it gets results every single time. In this video, we're diving into the silent power that separates the men who talk about it from the ones who actually build it. Step one, discipline is quiet, but its results are loud. Think about that. Discipline doesn't announce itself when you wake up early. It doesn't throw a party when you choose to skip the distractions and focus on your work. It doesn't post on social media every time you say no to temptation or yes to a higher standard. Discipline works in silence. It's not emotional. It's not impulsive. It's consistent. It's built on the foundation of decisions made in private when nobody's watching, nobody's cheering, and there's no immediate reward. You don't get applause for choosing a salad over fast food. No one's clapping when you decide to stay in and read or build or grind instead of going out and wasting time. There's no spotlight when you show up to the gym tired, or write that business plan late at night, or stick to your budget when everyone else is blowing theirs. But all those small, quiet choices stack up. They compound. And over time, they start speaking for you in ways you never could with words. Because when results show up, when your body transforms, when your business grows, when your bank account changes, when your mindset evolves, that's when the world takes notice. Not because you talked about it, not because you hyped it, but because your results speak louder than anything else. People will start to say you're lucky, that you've changed, that you've got something they don't. What they don't see are the early mornings, the disciplined nights, the sacrifices, the lonely wins. Discipline doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need to perform. It just needs you to show up again and again. And the beautiful thing is, over time, it builds something so undeniable that it becomes impossible to ignore. The body of work becomes your megaphone. The transformation becomes your proof. Step two, drama seeks attention. Discipline seeks results. Drama thrives on reaction. It wants eyes on it. It feeds off of energy, especially negative energy. It shows up loud, unpredictable, and emotional. Whether it's personal drama, workplace chaos, or internal mental noise, it craves a spotlight. It wants validation, sympathy, and response. Drama says, "Look at me." It creates stories, exaggerates problems, and escalates minor issues into major scenes just to keep the cycle going. And the dangerous part, drama feels good in the moment. It gives us a hit of adrenaline. It makes us feel important. It keeps us distracted. But it's a trap, because while drama is demanding attention, it's stealing time, energy, and focus away from progress. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't care who's watching. It doesn't need recognition or applause. Discipline is quiet because it's not about being seen. It's about getting things done. It's intentional. It doesn't waste time explaining, complaining, or seeking approval. It chooses the work. It shows up whether it's fun or not, whether things are perfect or messy. Discipline says, I'm not here to be noticed, I'm here to improve. While drama gets lost in the emotion of the moment, discipline stays connected to the mission. Drama reacts, discipline responds. Drama spirals, discipline stabilizes. One is loud and fleeting, the other is steady and lasting. And over time, you can trace the lives of people who live in drama versus those who live in discipline. One group constantly deals with the same problems, the same excuses, the same cycle of highs and lows. The other builds, they grow, they evolve, because instead of being ruled by their feelings, they're guided by their vision. Drama distracts with noise, discipline delivers with focus. Step 3, consistency beats emotional chaos every single time. Emotional chaos is unpredictable. One day you're on fire, the next day you can't get out of bed. One moment you're motivated, the next you're overwhelmed. Your energy swings with every comment, every setback, every delay. When you're stuck in emotional chaos, your actions are dictated by how you feel in the moment, whether you feel inspired, confident, scared, stressed, or lazy. And the problem with that is emotions are unstable. They're temporary. They change based on sleep, food, feedback, weather, relationships, hormones, anything. When your progress depends on your feelings, your growth becomes inconsistent, fragile, and slow. Consistency, on the other hand, doesn't care how you feel. It's not dependent on mood. It's rooted in commitment. It's about showing up and doing the work even when you're tired, unmotivated, or discouraged. It doesn't swing with emotions. It holds the line. That's where real momentum comes from, not the days you feel amazing, but the days you push through even when you don't. The small daily actions, repeated without drama, create long-term transformation. Consistency builds trust with yourself. It rewires your brain to prioritize action over excuses. It doesn't need hype, it just needs repetition. You can be the most passionate person in the room, but if you're not consistent, that passion burns out. You can cry, shout, celebrate, or collapse, but if you're not following through daily, nothing truly changes. People think they need intensity to change their lives, but it's not intensity once in a while, it's discipline every single day. Emotional chaos creates starts and stops. You go hard for 3 days, then crash for 3 weeks. You talk about big plans but can't stick to small habits. You burn bright and burn out. But consistency moves slow and steady. It keeps building quietly in the background while emotional chaos is busy creating noise in the foreground. Step 4, success doesn't come from reacting. It comes from routine. Reaction is what most people live in. Something happens and they respond, often emotionally, often impulsively. A problem comes up at work and they panic. Someone criticizes them and they spiral. They feel anxious, so they procrastinate. They get inspired, so they sprint for a day or two. Everything is based on what's happening around them or inside them in the moment. But that kind of reactive living creates instability. It means your progress is always at the mercy of circumstances you can't control. You become like a boat tossed in the waves, up and down, back and forth, never moving forward with real power. But success, real success, that's born in routine. It's built on the foundation of consistent, intentional habits that don't change just because your mood does. Routine doesn't wait for motivation. It doesn't get derailed by bad days. It says, this is what I do, period. Whether you're tired or energized, confident or insecure, winning or struggling, it doesn't matter. You follow the routine. That's how momentum is created. Not by reacting to what's going on, but by sticking to a rhythm that's aligned with your vision. Routine is where structure lives. It's where discipline becomes automatic. You don't have to decide every day whether or not to show up. You just do. The decision's already been made. That's what separates the successful from the scattered. Most people waste hours reacting to everything: emails, social media, other people's opinions, random distractions. But the ones who grow consistently don't let their day get hijacked. They start with intention, follow through with action, and end with reflection. And they do it again tomorrow. Routine creates clarity. It simplifies your life. You don't wake up wondering what to do. You already know. You execute. And as that routine compounds day after day, month after month, you start to see results that reactive people only dream about. Because while they're constantly shifting gears, chasing motivation, or cleaning up from their last emotional explosion, you're locked in, focused, building brick by brick. Step 5. Your future is shaped by what you repeatedly do, not how you occasionally feel. Feelings are powerful, but they're not reliable architects of your future. You can feel inspired one day and completely defeated the next. You can feel excited about a new goal, but that excitement doesn't always translate into action. You might feel motivated to change your life, to get in shape, to build that business, to start that habit. But unless that motivation turns into consistent behavior, it fades. Too many people build their lives around how they feel in the moment, and because feelings are inconsistent, so is their progress. They act when they're in the mood, they commit when it's convenient, they show up when it's exciting, and then they wonder why their results are temporary. But your future doesn't care about how you feel once in a while. It doesn't bend to your highs or your lows. It listens to your patterns. It's molded by your daily actions, your habits, your choices over time. The things you do on autopilot, the routines you follow, the disciplines you maintain, those are the real sculptors of your destiny. It's not about feeling good one week and falling off the next. It's about showing up again and again, regardless of how you feel, because repetition creates transformation. Repetition builds skill, resilience, and confidence. When you train your body and mind to take action without waiting for perfect emotions, you step into real power. Occasional effort, no matter how intense, can't compete with steady consistency. You might feel fired up and go all in for a weekend, but if that energy dies out, nothing meaningful changes. The gym session you skip every other week because you're not feeling it adds up. The business calls you avoid because you're not in the right headspace. That avoidance becomes a habit. On the flip side, when you move forward, even when you're tired, even when you're uninspired, even when things are uncomfortable, you're wiring your brain for discipline. You're training your system to operate on commitment, not just emotion. The truth is, the man you become is shaped by what you do when no one is watching, when you're not in the mood, and when it's hard. The repetition of right actions, even when they feel small or boring, compounds into something unstoppable. 6, real power is doing what needs to be done, even when nobody's watching. There's a kind of strength that doesn't demand attention. It doesn't need validation, recognition, or applause. It's not performative. It's quiet, deliberate, and personal. This is the kind of power that exists behind closed doors, when no one is cheering you on, when there's no crowd, no accountability partner, no likes, no audience. It's the ability to show up for yourself purely because it matters to you. That's where real power begins, not in being seen doing the right thing, but in doing it because it's the right thing, even if no one ever knows you did it. In a world obsessed with optics, what looks good, what's trending, what gets attention, it's easy to fall into the trap of only taking action when someone's watching. People push harder when they're being observed. They clean up their habits when it's visible. They put on discipline like a costume when they think someone is paying attention. But that's not power, that's performance. Real power lives in the invisible moments. It's waking up early when the alarm goes off and no one is going to check on you. It's putting in the reps when your body's tired and nobody will notice if you skip it. It's choosing integrity in the smallest choices, even when there's zero chance of being caught. That kind of power is rare because it requires self-respect. It requires internal standards that don't bend based on external circumstances. It's rooted in identity, who you are when everything else is stripped away. Anyone can look disciplined when the camera is on, but who are you when it's just you? When there's no reward today, no praise, no short-term payoff, do you still do the work? Do you still lead yourself? Do you still keep your word to yourself? I think that's the separator. That's where champions are made. Not on the stage, not on the field, but in the silent hours when no one else is around. It's easy to fake effort when you're being watched. It's hard to fake character when you're alone. The mirror doesn't lie, the results won't lie, and deep down you know if you're doing the work or not. That's where real confidence comes from, not from the feedback of others, but from knowing you've been consistent in the dark. You've stayed faithful to the process. You've built the kind of strength that doesn't crumble when no one's clapping. So here's the truth. Real power doesn't come from what you say or what you feel in the moment. It comes from the quiet, consistent actions you take when nobody's watching. It's about doing what needs to be done even when the world isn't applauding. Success isn't built on emotional highs and lows. It's built on routine discipline and the quiet strength to show up no matter what. Are you ready to stop reacting and start building? Ready to choose discipline over drama, consistency over chaos, and routine over randomness? Because that's where the future you've been dreaming of is waiting in the small, seemingly insignificant decisions you make every single day. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop looking for the perfect moment. Start now. Because the power you're looking for has always been in your hands. The question is, will you claim it? Let's get to work.